Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, sir, I rise to contribute briefly to support the motion that's been moved by the Acting Prime Minister, Minister for Economy. Right at the outset, for the purposes of Honourable Kurindrani, the motion actually reads, pursuant to Standing Order 131, that Parliament approved that the government guarantee the Fiji Development Bank borrowings for the 12-month period from the 1st of March 2022 to 28th of February 2023, which is the guarantee period, through the issuance of short-term and long-term bonds, promissory notes, term deposits, any RBF financing facility, and other short-term borrowings. It's actually quite simple if you read it. So that explains to him that we're not flying in there blind, Honourable Member. Honourable Speaker, sir, the FDB, as we all know, has been in existence for about 50 years and remains as the only national development financial institution in Fiji. It is our job to support that particular institution. The bank has supported, Honourable Speaker, sir, economic development in providing financial solutions for the development of our key sectors. This has been industry, commerce, and agriculture. It has done so. And as alluded to earlier on in the week, sir, the bank has actually become a dynamic financial service provider for the development of the Fijian economy, and especially focusing on our MSMEs and expanding our economic base. It's well known, sir, that the FDB has collaborated also, despite what Honourable Kurindrani may think, it has collaborated with our ministry and other government institutions on initiatives on numerous occasions to enable access to finance for MSMEs with promising business proposals. Honourable Speaker, sir, once again, I think this needs to be said, they need to be reminded that this guarantee of $200 million is not a grant, it's or a loan given by the government to FDB. It's actually providing a guarantee. No money is actually going from the Fijian government to accounts of FDB under this particular motion. It's actually quite simple to understand, and I hope this is clear and it's understood. Some may say, oh yes, we do know, but they continue to make statements that say the contrary. We don't want any misrepresentation of facts here, Honourable Speaker, so we don't want any misinformation. People of Fiji need to know the truth. Sometimes the opposition discusses these matters and they continue pursuing this misinformation. Mr. Speaker, sir, just yesterday, they couldn't even get their facts correct when it was right in front of them, Honourable Speaker, sir. Yesterday they claimed that there were only 42 cooperatives, but a little reading would have told you that was, sir. We have, and I'll repeat this, sir, I said this yesterday, we have over 400 cooperatives in Fiji that a lot of them get assisted by this very institution that they're actually downplaying right now, sir. Today is no different, sir. They actually, again, they're shooting off with unverified and cheap comments without any basis, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, Honourable Speaker, sir, Honourable Prasad also claims that the FDB and the government does nothing for the sugarcane farmers. Honourable Speaker, sir. Honourable Speaker, sir. Please wait. Listen. Let me remind him again. Once again, sir. The FDB provided $20 million worth of support to our sugarcane farmers. That is not some small feat, sir. And this is all sugarcane farmer cooperatives for mechanization. And that is for the purchase of harvesters. They continue to do so by saying no to what's on the table, sir.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
There's a point of order.
You know, when the Hansard comes out tomorrow, he should look at it. I not once said that FDB hasn't done anything for the sugar industry, so the minister should stop lying and misrepresenting what I said. I've never said that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, sir. Maybe the Pied Piper got to him, so he's changed his tune. I hope all the cane farmers around Fiji I'm not lying about anything. I hope the cane farmers in Fiji are actually listening, because he's standing here right now, right, singing the tunes of the Pied Piper, Honourable Speaker, sir, and the founders of NFP must be turning in their graves, sir. I'm serious. Honourable A.D. Patel the late Honourable A.D. Patel and SM Koya must be turning in their grave with the comments that you actually make. Shame on you. Shame on you. You come here and you sing the tune of the sugarcane farmers, and you want to deny this, the very institution that helps them. I'm not kidding, sir. One of those founders happens to be my father. He must be turning in his grave, sir. This particular party's lost its principles. They're partnering, the very fact that they're partnering with a man that brought this country to its knees will tell you what the problem is, Honourable Speaker, sir. You're very disingenuous, Honourable Prasad. And then he's got a twin brother sitting here right in front of us, Honourable Nawaikula, said he tells the farmers, take the money and the loan and don't pay it back, or whatever he said earlier on. And sorry, my apologies. He said, take the money and don't vote for them. Correction? He said, take the money and don't vote for them. Yeah, that's fine. Be correct. But again, stop informing. Once again, Honourable Speaker, sir, you got to question the character. You got to question the character of this gentleman. If he's actually telling, first of all, he suddenly decides on his own that, okay, maybe we're going to use this money to dish out to voters. We don't do that. We don't do such things at all. Quite ridiculous, if you ask me. We don't intend to turn the FDB into an NBF, Honourable Speaker, sir. Most definitely not. Honourable Nawaikula also, Honourable Speaker, Honourable Nawaikula also said the Fijian government had guaranteed FDB loans of 1.2 billion this morning. In fact, sir, the outstanding guarantees to FDB is only 344 million.
He should get his fact correct. That is the national guarantee, not only for FDB.
No, your mic.
You're actually lying.
Get your facts right.
Here. Talked about the total contingent liability.
Order.
Of course you'll support him. You're his twin brother.
Yeah.
Where were you? Honourable Speaker, sir, twins separated at birth. Honourable Speaker, sir, I now wish to outline the reasons why I actually support this motion. And it's not rocket science, Honourable Speaker, sir. All the guarantees provided by the government to FDB have never ever been called upon, Honourable Speaker. Never been called upon. That means the government has never had to bail out FDB, Honourable Speaker. Never. And therefore, it gives me as a citizen the utmost of confidence to support this particular motion, Honourable Speaker. Even during the pandemic, when the FDB, like all financial institutes in Fiji and all the rest of the world, Honourable Speaker, were adversely affected, businesses and individuals had actually struggled to pay their loans, which meant that FDB customers was also defaulted and asked for extensions of loans. But that simply means that FDB's profits would be affected, Honourable Speaker, sir. FDB, again, has an unqualified financial accounts status, which was debated and passed on Monday, Honourable Speaker, just on Monday, signalling a strong governance practice which has been led by the board and the management. Previous guarantees provided to FDB, Honourable Speaker, allowed them to go out and borrow at a lower rate and ultimately lend below market rates for the benefit of our MSMEs and cooperatives. And I'll keep saying cooperatives because that's what they were harping on about yesterday, particularly in their economic recovery efforts, Honourable Speaker. This will also provide opportunities for FDB to focus into areas that commercial banks do not wish to invest in, such as greenfield and climate financing ventures. Honourable Speaker, sir, it also allows them to assist farmers to shift from semi-commercial to commercial farming, and therefore realizing our own very huge potential with respect to Fijian grown and Fijian products to meet the demands of our local markets and also the tourism market and export markets. Mr. Speaker, sir, the opposition continues on their rhetoric that the FDB is not focusing on core sectors. Mr. Speaker, sir, I think the opposition just fails to or refuses to understand the agriculture sector in Fiji. They are smallholder farmers, which means the value of loan taken will be smaller than the non-focus industry. The non-focus will then obviously show a smaller number of loan takers, but a higher value, sir. As a simple example, very simple example, Mr. Speaker, sir, so that the opposition colleagues can understand, under the Rice Assistance Program, for example, FDB may give $10,000 loans to 1,000 rice farmers, which equates to $1 million, whilst a real estate or a tourism developer may take one loan worth $1 million. This was explained earlier on by the Honourable Acting Prime Minister, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, the opposition definitely does not know how this financial sector works, and by providing loans to the non-focused sector at a higher rate, FDB is actually able to cross-subsidize the loans for the agriculture sector and MSMEs, Honourable Speaker, sir. So essentially, Mr. Speaker, sir, the opposition is saying that the FDB should not provide loans to the commercial sectors, which enables FDB to provide cheaper loans to farmers or small shop operators. And the people of Fiji need to listen to this, sir. Opposition basically wants the farmers and the MSMEs to be deprived of getting loans at better interest rates, Honourable Speaker, sir. They don't want our farmers to grow their business. They'll stand here and say, oh, you're not helping agriculture, you're not helping MSMEs. We are, but what you're doing is not helping these very farmers and these very MSMEs. Exactly. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also want to highlight some issues that were brought up regarding the Pullman loan by FDB. It has nothing to do with a guarantee, Honourable Speaker, sir. Absolutely nothing to do with it. Honourable Tuisawa was just bringing up hogwash, really, at the end of the day, not relative to this particular motion. There are certain issues that remain confidential between a bank and its customer. You can't go and willy-nilly ask any question you want with respect to these people. I'm not ignorant of anything. I'm not ignorant of anything. It's a private entity that's actually buying these particular properties. Mr. Speaker, sir, and besides, if there's anything that they need and it's a matter of public record, they feel free to go get it. Mr. Speaker, sir, or write to the relevant minister. It'll give you the information. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the one hand, the opposition says, don't do anything for the MSMEs. Don't do anything for the cooperatives and agriculture. The very next minute, they tell the government not to guarantee FDB loans that will be enabling. It's an enabling tool for MSMEs. Mr. Speaker, sir, the only person on the other side who maybe actually really understands it was Honourable Itabu this morning. He seems to understand what the realities on the ground are. Right? The rest of the opposition is still in la-la land or very delusional about what is actually happening. Maybe, just maybe, because they're in such a mess, they should listen to him a whole lot more. Obviously, it won't suit their narrative or their agenda at the moment. Honourable Speaker, sir, I had a figure mentioned that the government had provided a guarantee to the tune of 1.2 billion. I'm not sure where they actually got that particular amount from. Before I finish, Honourable Speaker, I want to respond to some claims made by Honourable Gavoko that the Fiji First government is not doing enough for cassava farmers. Well, maybe just a phone call away, Honourable Gavoko, you should have asked me. I would have told you. I met them already. We're way ahead of you. Very simple. Instead of coming here and crying about it and saying, it was very easy. I met the Tapioca Growers Association last week, Honourable Gavoka, and we'll be working with the FDB, by the way, and the other ministries, the Ministry of Agriculture, to work up whatever we can do to assist them. So it's work that's already been done. So please, be good that you asked, Honourable Gavoka. Honourable Speaker, sir, based on the reasons that I've just mentioned, I wish to reiterate my support for the motion and request that the entire House take note and support the motion. Thank you, Honourable Speaker, sir.